Let's talk about two dreaded words, cold calling. We all have our horror stories of people hanging up on us after we introduce ourselves or constantly being sent to voicemails that are never returned. It's typical to have a tough time trying to find anyone who will listen to us. Despite the hours of rewriting our scripts, we still get brushed off on most of the calls. It's not unusual for 3/4 of the appointments we make to get canceled, or for half of the ones that aren't actually canceled to not end up in a real meeting. But think about it. Truthfully, the prospect you cold call has absolutely no idea who you are, what you do, or for that matter, whether she can trust you or not. So how do most salespeople start the one-sided conversation? Hi, this is Bill Rogers from Smith & Smith. I represent office efficiency machinery designed to, and on and on. Think about the effect on the prospect on hearing this. It's just another salesperson who, if I can get a word in, is going to promise me that his equipment is better than what I have, more likely a lot less expensive, and will never break down. How do I get him off the phone so I can get something done? Did this conversation start off with a statement of truth both parties could agree to? As it progresses, does the prospect feel any sense of interest in what he is saying? Or perhaps more importantly, is the prospect engaged in the conversation at all? No, no, and no. You wouldn't like being treated like this, so why would anyone ever think of treating a prospect like this? So instead, when you connect with a prospect after you introduce yourself, try, "Doesn't sound like you recognize my name." Then wait for a response. You're getting the prospect engaged in the conversation. Despite what you may think, this question also gets their interest. Hoped you did, but this happens to me all the time. This is kind of awkward for me. Do you mind if I ask you a question? 99.9% of the prospects will say, "Of course not." Well, you've just been invited in, whether you realize it or not. Here are a couple of other examples. "I usually only work with presidents of the company. Are you the president?" "Yes." "Here's why I'm calling, and if this doesn't make sense to you, interrupt me. I don't want to make it awkward for you too." "Okay." Bottom line, tell the truth right from the very first contact with the prospect, and you will have someone who will listen and respect you for it.